Even though it is thousands of miles and many years away from modern civilization, this particular stand of rainforest may be the most important piece of land on Earth. Not only because it is home to the planet's highest level of species diversity and to human cultures that stretch back millennia. Not only because it is part of the planetary life support system that we all depend upon for our very survival. An ecosystem that, among other things, cleans the air we breathe, provides medicines to treat our diseases, and regulates our global climate. This biological jewel deep in the Amazon region of Ecuador is critically important also because it has become the front line in a battle between two different worldviews. One that knows that all things are connected and that nature is sacred. And one that exalts private interest and treats the natural world as its own raw material superstore. This is the territory of the Achuar people of Ecuador. Nearly 2 million acres of primary tropical rainforest completely untouched by roads, settlers, or resource development. It is a place so remote, we would certainly consider it to be the middle of nowhere. But given its critical contribution to the health of our planetary home, it could more rightly be called the heart of everywhere. This pristine emerald treasure has remained untouched largely because the Achuar have kept it that way. They are part of a proud and unconquered people whose ancestors united to expel the Spaniards in the 16th century. They did it with such determination that the outside world left them alone for the next 400 years. The Achuar are a dream culture, deeply guided by their inner world. A decade ago, their elders began to have visions that told them that a new threat was coming from the outside. But this time, the threat was driven not by the colonial world's greed for gold, but by the industrialized world's hunger for oil. The Achuar watched as the scourge of oil development fouled the forests and poisoned the rivers of their neighbors to the north, the Sequoia, the Siona, and the Cofan. In one generation, millions of years of biological evolution and the accumulated wisdom of proud and ancient cultures were all but swept away in the polluted backwash of the modern world's insatiable hunger for petroleum and private profit. Determined this would not happen to them, the Achuar leaders made a bold decision. They would initiate what they most feared: contact. So they reached out to the very world that was threatening to destroy them. Their aim was to form an alliance with people from the modern world who could help equip them with the knowledge and skills they would need to protect their homeland, not just for themselves, but for people everywhere. Their bold strategy is working. With the active partnership and support of committed people from around the globe, and in spite of increasing pressure from the Ecuadorian government, the Achuar have thus far successfully defended their rainforest home against the incursion of oil development. By taking this stand, the Achuar have inspired other indigenous groups to join them. For the first time ever, former rivals, the Shuar, the Sapara, the Shiwiar, and the Quichua, have organized in solidarity with one another. Together, they have become a strong, effective, and growing force standing in defense of the natural world on behalf of all of us. But the pressure against them is mounting, and the stakes are getting even higher. The new Ecuadorian government, burdened as it is with foreign debt and ensnared in the global monetary system, increasingly sees oil development as its only way out. So the battle for our future goes on, and our indigenous partners continue to stand on the front line. They battle not to resist the modern world, but to affect it, to transform this clash of worldviews into a merger, so that the technological genius of the modern world proceeds in recognition of the interconnected nature of all things. These are people who have temporarily set aside their traditional way of living in order to permanently protect their ancient way of life and to preserve the natural world for all humanity. We have the opportunity and the privilege to stand with them in this unprecedented endeavor. Please join us.